To you by Even Keel Fish Shack.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim flam sauce with the awesome fave with shafafa on the side.
Good afternoon and welcome to a remote edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Hold the Mayo? Yeah, that's what happened. It's a remote edition, and I've been held back from the broadcast by my own supposed colleagues, partners. And they just said, "Stay away. Go. We don't want to see you. Go. You go home and just stay there." Because I was hacking up a lung. But as you can tell, I think I sound a little bit better. I'm not coughing as much. But the show must go on. And look who's there at Even Keel Fish Shack, Lauderdale by the Sea, one of my favorite spots, and I'm very jealous because they're going to be eating up a storm and drinking without me. Jeff Defo DeFars, Mike Lubie Lubitz. How are you, gentlemen? How are you today, gentlemen?
I'll let you respond first. I don't want to irritate Mayo. Right
I'm doing well,
yeah.
Mike Mayo. How are you?
I'm fine also, Michael.
Okay, first of all, I watched back yesterday's show. I did not cut you off yesterday.
Oh, no, you were terrible yesterday.
I let you respond fully in complete paragraphs, complete sentences and paragraphs and
It was 20
pages.
seconds at a time. You, panicked because I don't know what happens to you. You space out at the beginning of shows.
I watched back yesterday's show. I did not cut you off. Now, in the past, it might be true when you start going off about Cafe Ebola, which I think I must have visited because that's why I'm
You bring that up more than you bring up to Catherine here, but I'm not the one that brings it up all the time. You ask me how Atlantic City is, I start to tell you, and you cut off, whatever the guy's saying, and then you condemn the restaurant that you've never been to. Very typical Mayo start to yet another show.
Well, either way, we're both doing well.
Yeah, we're fine. We're fine. We're going to answer in very short answer.
Can I give you the full rundown of what's surrounding me now? Because this is a hypochondriac's.
We're very interested in the medications you're taking, Michael. So
hypochondriac's wet dream right now because I've got So first of all, I went to urgent care yesterday because, as you may have known if you've been watching the Lunchbox earlier this week, when Defo actually he had like a one of these shields that you see in the Middle Ages that he was like holding up at the Copper Point Brewing the other day, and I guess now I realize why you didn't want to touch that nice 6-pack of beer that I managed to procure from you, because I probably was coughing all over it and you were afraid of touching that beer. But in any event, I went to urgent care yesterday. I got diagnosed. What am I, Canadian? All of a sudden, I did not have COVID. I've tested home at COVID. I'm negative for COVID, but it was acute bronchitis. So now I've got my heavy duty cough syrup. I've got my rescue inhaler, the albuterol, which will help me if I ever have a coughing jag, but they've stopped. I also have my Z-Pack, my antibiotics. I've got my prednisone, which is the steroid that helps clear up the inflammation in the lungs. I've also got my matzo ball soup that I just picked up from Grandpa's in Dania Beach, one of our fine sponsors. The Marx brothers, Mark Fried and Mark Goldberg, were both there. They took pity on me, and they bestowed upon me a quart of matzo ball soup, which I've divvied up, and I'm going to have some for my mom, and then this is mine that I'm going to just start slurping on the air, the Jewish penicillin. And last but not least, I've got in this canister freshly brewed mint tea made by my mom's health aide, Rosemary, because she's Haitian and she brews up these magical elixirs that cures any ailment. And she made the mint tea that some lemon and honey in there. And I think I'm going to be fine, gentlemen. I think I'm going to live.
I hope so.
Is Defo giving the silent treatment? You could take it away.
We're rocking start here. I mean, the people are naturally going to be turned on to talk about food and the great atmosphere and vibe we have out here at Even Keel Fish Shack. It couldn't be any more of a Chamber of Commerce type day for
it's gorgeous
Nikki Mohan
outside.
and the Visit Lauderdale people.
It's gorgeous.
Gorgeous. I'm very excited, Mike Mayo. I don't know if you want me to elaborate, but I'm very excited about a restaurant development in the area here.
I'm intrigued.
Go ahead.
I'm intrigued. Yeah, I want to
Are you
hear.
sure?
I'm going to give you the floor because I'm not there. I'll yield to you for as long as a gentleman may require.
All right.
Eat
Well,
my
first
soup.
of all, I was thinking about there are at least a half a dozen dynamite Italian restaurants in this little area here. It's fantastic if you count all the way down to like Oakland Park Boulevard. Some phenomenal places, high end, relatively affordable. I mean, just really a great array of places here. I do notice that this when I've driven by a couple of times at night, this Mickey's Downtowner is doing well. So the area is thriving, but the return of Chinese food to the area, I believe, has taken place.
What's that? I'm curious.
Well, we lost your picture there, but
He's there.
oh, okay,
It's
you're
just
there.
little.
Well, it's just a big yellow sign that I saw on my way down here. There used to be a Chinese restaurant called, I believe, Jade Garden. That was there, and it was there for a while. The guy finally, couldn't pay the rent anymore, and so he left. And a couple of other places propped up. One, a sushi place. Now, with the closing of the Peking Duck House, there's really nothing that you would go out of your way to get in terms of Chinese food in this area. And I don't know that it's reopening. I know that came up on Let's Eat South Florida. I believe the place was sold. I don't have that for a fact, but I think it was sold to some new entity. So we'll see what it comes back at. But on a yellow sign at the sushi place, they now have a giant sign that says, now serving Chinese food.
Nice.
And
So
this is what's the name of the restaurant? Jade something?
I mean, no, it used to be called Jade Garden, but that's been closed for a while.
And the location, this is on A1A or this is
A1A, and it's the Lauderdale by the Sea Publix
Nice.
complex.
up in that one where there used to be
First Watch. They have an Italian restaurant that took over the space where the Jade Garden was, and that's supposedly very good, although I haven't tried it. And then next door they have a sushi place, which I'm assuming is okay, but they have now expanded to offer Chinese food. So I don't know what is about that.
What is taking over the former site of the Onion Roll, which used to get a lot of
You know what? I
chatter.
just saw a sign. I'm not sure if it's in the exact spot, but it might be one of these acai bowl type of places where they have
like health,
smoothies and health
yeah.
bowls.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's in the same spot as the sandwich place, but that was ill-fated, man. I mean, rave reviews on Let's Eat South Florida, and was open for a very short period of time.
I went in there once, and it was okay. I mean, I wouldn't, it's not like it made me, feel like I had just gone to the reincarnation of the Rascal House, but it was a fine little place that run by a nice couple from Detroit that I guess COVID did them in. That
They ran them right out of town. Yeah,
it was definitely tough. It had mostly good reviews on the Let's Eat group, but the Onion Roll, alas, is no more. But you're talking about the public shopping center that's right on A1A. Isn't it close to Sea-Watch?
Yeah, it's about a half mile south of Sea-Watch.
Sea-Watch, yeah. So that'll give people a frame of reference, and I guess people are always excited, especially me and you and all the Brooklyn Jews.
Yep,
Anytime we hear Chinese food, we say, "Oh, is it real New York authentic Chinese food?"
I'm obligated to try it, just because it's so much more convenient than going to the other places that are now available to me, including the much fabled May's Kitchen.
Well, I think you don't feel safe there because of the bulletproof glass. I think that's more for their
May's Kitchen is not the most attractive interior. And they do have one table there, which is amazing, although I've never seen anybody but the owner's son eating there.
Yes.
It's one of those places where the guy's got that little paddle that's on the rubber band, and that's what he's playing as you're waiting for your food.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, man, this kid's annoying. Why don't they put him in the back?
Hey, so you mentioned about that whole kind of, it's just popping up and down A1A, and really now from this is President's Day week, where I think the kids up in north, the schools up north, have a week off, and they all come down here, all the families, and then that's going to lead us right into the start of spring break. And spring break at different colleges, it goes basically from the end of February all the way through the middle of April. So for the next 6 weeks, I remember last year there, it was just rocking and rolling. And Brad and Dave were just, I think they were like, they were throwing up dollar bills like you see in the strip clubs. But no, it was, that they, of course, they do a great job at Even Keel, and they have all those great frozen drink concoctions in the machines. And
Lubie has one right in front of him.
Yeah, I mean they have the
some kind of pina colada thing.
Pina colada variant. They have the salty, like the margarita variant, and they're all made with real
Paloma.
booze, but it's all pre-made for your convenience. You could just
Yeah.
sip and take it right on down to the beach there. And
Yep.
but now that I've given up alcohol for Lent, I'm not going to be able to imbibe for the next 6 weeks. You don't believe it?
No, I don't
No,
either.
it's such
You're not even
BS,
Catholic.
Mayo. I mean, you're a Jew, for God's sake. Would you just face who you are? You don't
I'm
need to give
okay.
up anything for
Why'd
Lent
you
except shul, maybe. I don't know what.
My ex-wife is Catholic. My daughter identifies as Catholic,
Yeah,
and
does she give up
my
anything?
daughter is she's giving up meat and poultry. She had a bad incident yesterday with her lunch, which she made herself, and apparently she kind of ate some cold cuts that might have been a little bit past their prime, and she ended up staying home from school today after a night.
I used to do that all the time. I would pretend
night
I
at the opera.
a stomach
His
virus
daughter
missed
and you
school.
are very different.
Yeah. I like your daughter a lot more than I like you, Michael, just based on what I know of her. But I would say this, that she inherited your immune system, which is on a
She
par.
definitely has.
Your
when
immune
I-
system is the skyline
It's
chili of
amazing.
immune systems.
It's really
It's
amazing.
like you want to believe in it, but you just ultimately can't.
You were fine
I-
Friday.
I
Now you-
keep telling. Well, yeah, I was. Look, this is like one of those little tropical storms that it starts off as a little swirl of wind, and next thing you know, it turns into this raging cat fire. You saw me Monday. I was hacking
were
up
not
a
good.
lung,
You were not good.
dying.
and on Tuesday, I could barely talk. I was having these coughing jags, and it got to the point yesterday where it's like, I just had to go to urgent care and spend the extra money because my primary care physician couldn't and wouldn't get me in, and so I went to the urgent care right down the block, and they know me by name. It's my personal Cheers bar there, the urgent care center.
You go in the
Memorial.
back door when the other guys are going in?
And I have the concierge
Oh,
service.
Mayo.
Hey, Mike. Yeah, no, don't worry about it. Yeah.
Led me right in, and it's funny because
Slide
one of
a
the
little window open in the back there, and I go,
It's
okay,
ready
it's
for
Mike.
him.
one of the doctors there, Dr. Mile, Dr. Mile is basically a foodie, and he knows me from the Sentinel and the food group, and it's like also my primary care physician. Every time I go in, they give me a lecture about my weight, and then they ask about, hey, so where have you eaten that's good lately?
What 6 places have you eaten at this week? Yeah.
So, but then he, took a
At least you're in
listen.
a good mood today. That's the good thing. I mean,
No,
you
the
were a little
power
sick
of
yesterday.
drugs. I mean, it's the Z-Pack, the antibiotics. I didn't know if it was going to work, but between all these different medications attacking all the different things, and you're right, my daughter, she has my immune system, and when she says she's Catholic, I say, no, you're at least half Jewish,
Yeah,
and
you're Jewish.
particularly the half involving your anxiety and immune system. So,
See if you can wean that out of her over
Exactly.
time. Yeah.
trying.
Talk to her,
But,
Michael.
no, I hope she's feeling better. She's just kind of hanging and resting at home. I'm feeling better.
Well,
I'm
what's
hanging
the
and
statute
resting.
of limitations on cold cuts? I mean, because the odd thing is they put the expiration date on as the date sold.
Sold, yeah, the sell
All right,
date.
so you're looking at something that says like December 21st. That goes
Well,
in the trash, right?
This happened to be
Within a week, 2 weeks.
Yeah,
What?
how long?
it was she pushes the limits because she's younger. Okay.
Okay.
Cold cuts from Publix that you get fresh sliced,
Yeah.
and you'll notice on the package. Now, this happened to be actually a processed in a container from
Yeah.
another thing, but both of them are the same because once you open them, then it gets prone to listeria and other airborne bacteria.
Oh, yeah.
Even so, you're supposed to consume your cold cuts within 4 days after
4
opening.
days. Oh
Yeah.
my god!
Wow.
I buy the prepackaged stuff and I have it for weeks.
Well, she had this prepackaged.
I found
It was
some
about
in the bottom drawer down there with a potato that had something growing out of it, and I ate it.
I was
I
fine.
thought, oh, good. Those are those chicken
I was
slices I was
geeked
looking
out.
for.
Well, again, as with anything where you get an upset stomach, you can't really pinpoint with any certainty, but
Yeah.
she thinks it was the cold cuts, which were over a week old. And depending on how you store them and if there's any oxygen
the
getting
air,
into the
you gotta
package,
clear out the area.
it could cause spoilage and, these bacteria that could upset your stomach. She also had some crab legs last night from a famous place in
The
Dania.
good news is you
Tarts.
bought her story, whatever it was.
Well, she's, I'm not going to doubt my daughter because I know, from personal experience that, we have weak digestive tracts and sometimes these things happen. But again, here we are on the lunchbox, trying to eat some good food and spoiling it with
the best thing you got, what was the grandpa's?
Well, this is great. This is good.
Soup.
Here, I'm gonna go back in here, and then we're gonna do
matzo ball looks
before
like
we take.
Weber used to throw. I mean, it's huge. Are there 3 holes in there? Can you get like a 10-pin by going cross lane?
And I got to give a critique and some props to our friends at Grandpa's because they make their own chicken stock. It's not pre-packaged. Cool. So you can tell just by the level of like you have that little floating globules of the chicken fat, the schmaltz, and that is really what makes the Jewish penicillin kick in. You need that fresh chicken schmaltz in there, and big rough cut carrots, which I love. Yep. And you've got the Luxion, the thin noodles. You've got the big fluffy matzo ball. This one is a floater, not a sinker. That's the way I like it. So it's really hitting the spot. And
so I mean, you can taste the carrots,
and all is good. Now I'm going to do some taking of the medications. Now it is time for.
That'll be exciting. We'll sit out while you do this.
Here, first of all, we shake the albuterol, and this is like I'm going to do a hit of this, and it just opens.
So
up
did they? Okay, they suggested all these because I've never been a big medication person, so they suggest all these things, and you're supposed to take all of them. Like
yes, because when you're hit with acute bronchitis and you actually, struggle sometimes, like the way you hack up a lung and you're wheezing, and I actually injured a rib cage muscle yesterday, so that every time I was coughing, I was in stabbing pain. And you saw that on the show where at one point I said, "Oh, I think like something's gone wrong," and when it gets to that point, they got to throw the whole kitchen sink at this thing. So here we go. We're going to hit up the albuterol that opens up the passageways to the lungs.
Look, I hate to mock health, but it's funny for someone who loves to use the term septuagenarian. The person that's been sick once in the year and a half we've done this is the septuagenarian. The person that's ill weekly is not.
That's good stuff.
Could be to walk a life, maybe making a little difference there.
I got to get back on my routine. Dixie's been working me to the bone. There's a lot of stress. I had these lawsuits going on. Hopefully that's going to be resolved. There's all kinds of things. I'm the plaintiff, not the defendant. Thank you.
I'll give you a review of a place I haven't been to in a while. I went there last night.
Nice.
All right? Yeah. Are you ready for that, Mike Mayo? Or you want
yes, I'm going to take my prednisone.
Give us a commercial message here, and then we'll go into it maybe in the next segment, because I think Brad's going to start bringing out some food and join us as well.
Okay, yeah, you know what? I heard from our friends at Delaware Chicken Seafood Market, and I was resting up today because I want to be all prepared. And, Delaware Chicken and Seafood, man, do I love them. I've loved them for 30 years. I've been going there as a customer, and now that they're on board as a sponsor, I love them even more, because tomorrow on the show, our first remote edition from out there, it's right at State Road 7, just south of Sterling Road, there across from the Seminole Classic Casino. But Doug Carter, the owner and co-founder of Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market, will be joining us on our live remote. Nice. And guess what they're going to have for us to sample and to give demonstrations? Stone crabs, fresh Florida stone crabs, and shrimp cocktail. I'm sure we're going to be getting some of that.
I saw the email, Defo. The email is literally Mayo requesting stone crabs.
That's not what happened.
Put out some colossal stone crabs for me and my 2 buddies. I can't knock you for schnorring for food, because I put out 3 messages yesterday to schnorr for tickets to various things. Okay. Yeah. I got no response from 2 of the people, including one of our sponsors. And then the other, I sent messages to 2 people to try and get Panther hockey tickets for my son and his wife and my 2 grandkids. They wanted to go. And both, I mean, from Steve Goldie Goldstein to Craig Minervini to Red Deer Randy Moeller, the essence of it was, buy him yourself.
Wow.
Wow. 3 straight rejections.
These are friends. Yeah, these are good friends.
I guess this is, this is how, they're delivering a not so
got more stringent with their freebie tickets, because we used to be able to just.
They really have.
Yeah,
when it was, I think it was Alan Cohen, that regime was very, very generous.
Yep.
Yeah. You could call, Lubie would call and ask for a row.
I literally would get 9 tickets.
Like, buy a glass, please. Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Do what I did. I actually purchased some tickets earlier this year for my daughter, and we had a beautiful day there. Sometimes you got to bite the bullet and actually
it kind of makes me a little ill. I hate to fail my own.
Paid my $35 for the parking, paid my $20 for my beer, and that was it. My one and done for the year. I took in a Panther game, and that's all I could afford. Hey, but we're talking about
Yeah,
Delaware
really
chicken.
excited
There you get the greatest in the quality and satisfaction and customer service because owner Doug Carter, who will be joining us tomorrow's remote, and his whole crew, they'll take great care of you. Seafood manager Jose, he's a great guy. Make sure they're getting all the best and freshest of fish and seafood from all over the state and all over the world and country. They've got it all. Of course, we'll be eating it all tomorrow. The Key West pink shrimp, the stone crabs. They've got grouper, snapper, lobster, clams, crabs, crawfish. They get in this time of year too. They steam them up, and then you can take them to go. All kinds of good grab and go food there. You want to, and don't forget, the fish dips.
Amazing.
They really do.
The salmon dip. They've got a full selection of prepared foods. They're open 7 days a week. They're also, you could call up for a curbside delivery if you don't even want to get out of the car and shop. You go to DelawareChicken.com. That's their website. It'll give you all the info for the curbside delivery, along with their weekly specials and the daily catch that comes in fresh every day. Again, we'll see you out there tomorrow. They're doing a great job. They've cut these little promos and they're putting it up on their website, trying to get a nice crowd out there for us. We'll see if come on out there, shop. It's the greatest place to go for getting your quality seafood for your at-home dinners, whether it's just a weekend or any weeknight. They'll have what you want. Quality, value, freshness. That's the Delaware way. Tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. If you mention Defo's name, though, I don't know if they're going to get it.
May not count for much,
It
but
doesn't work.
that's okay with me. Yeah.
It was the only one that matters now.
Yeah, the only name that matters is Mayo. We know that. We're here at Even Keel, though, so your name is Mud right now because we're going to be eating and you're going to be home.
No, I've got my chicken soup. I've got my tea. I got my drugs, and that's all I need. I'm a very happy hypochondriac. Have you ever seen me so happy?
Shrimp? You don't have the grilled oysters that we're going to have. And what was the other thing that you requested, Lubie?
The crab grilled cheese.
Crab grilled cheese that we're going to have here at Even
They're
Keel.
going to start tweaking the menu, and Brad's going to talk about how the seasons. That's why we love Even Keel, is they move along with this. They keep their mainstays, but they also move along with the season. So we're going to talk with Brad coming up next.
Crab spoon here. All right, and comedy and Brews Room. That straight ahead, little review. I went to. They had a comedy show there. That's a new way to promote these places. All right, so we'll come back and talk about that on Mike Mayo's Lunchbox as he absorbs the the good things that are coming out of 18 medications.
People come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. You go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the black and grilled wings, and of course the kitchens are open late. Go there, tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent. Mayo here for Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. Since 1951, family owned for over 70 years, the home of freshness. I've been a customer for over 3 decades, and it's the place to go for poultry, steaks, meats, and of course, their unbelievable selection of fish and seafood. They've got it all. Key West pink shrimp, grouper, snapper, lobster, and of course, Florida stone crab claws of all sizes. Don't forget their famous fish dip and a full selection of prepared foods. It's located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, just across from the Seminole Classic Casino. Owner Doug Carter and crew will take great care of you. Make sure to check out their weekly specials and daily catch online at DelawareChicken.com. Quality, value, freshness, that's the Delaware way. Tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. Do you like pizza? Who doesn't like pizza? Well, my spot for pizza is the Pizza Spot. It's in that little bit hard to find Riverside Park neighborhood of Fort Lauderdale, but it's totally easy to love. It's at 601 Southwest 12th Avenue, New Haven style, a pizza from Wade and Reese. It's a lovely outdoor spot. You could also pick up pies to go at 754-779-7788, 754-779-7788. Again, they're open every day but Monday for lunch and dinner. Some of the best pizza I've ever had. Go to Pizza Spot. They also have subs, salads, and more. Tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, Even Keel Fish Shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, that's my spot. It's upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. Back on the Lunchbox, it's a remote edition Hold the Mayo. I'm back home with acute bronchitis, surrounded by drugs and liquids, and these guys are also surrounded by liquids, the good kind with alcohol.
A nice Chardonnay here, Michael. Nice one.
There you go. I've got, they're at Even Keel Fish Shack in Lauderdale by the Sea, and yeah, let me do. I'll take some of my medications because this is thrilling for the audience at home to see. We're on to the steroid, the prednisone now. I've got steroids. I've got.
Shirley loves that. That's the thing that like knocks it right out. That and then what's the other one?
It causes weird side effects, though.
Oh yeah,
it'll make me hyper aggressive and also eat a lot, which basically how you'll tell the difference from a normal Mayo.
Yeah. Well, maybe you don't need the medication. Maybe that's one you can skip. Yeah, weird side effects. One of my ex-wives, the second one to be specific, was forced to take it because she had Crohn's disease.
Oh, jeez.
And it wigged her out. I mean, I would have to say, there were perceivable changes in her persona depending on how much of this prednisone she was taking, and it was not pleasant.
This is a 6-day course of treatment where you load up at the front. Like today, I had to take like 6 of them, and then it's like diminishes by 1 or 2 per day.
Oh, we'll get better, Mayo. That's basically it. No,
that's it.
Right.
Now I'm on to the cough syrup. I was lobbying for the cough syrup.
Really exciting for the lunch crowd. We're getting ready to eat here at Even Keel Fish.
Is Brad there yet? I thought I was stretching. Is Brad
there? You are in your
you
prostate again. Yeah.
I don't need you to stretch.
Yeah,
you don't need to stretch because
we don't
I was
need
lobbying.
If you're going to stretch, do it with something more compelling than this.
Scintillating.
Okay? Yeah.
I wanted the codeine.
Yeah.
I wanted the codeine in my cough syrup. They wouldn't go for that. They just gave me the straight up. It's called Bromphosir, and it has like antihistamine. It knocks you out, makes you a little bit drowsy, but it also suppresses the cough. All right, we'll go back to the chicken.
Well, our friend Gali asked a good question, and it's funny. The professor actually was
L'chaim
was intrigued by your response to this, and I know Defo likes a good one of these every once in a while. Today is National Margarita Day, and they make a great margarita here at Even Keel. You are very specific about your drinks, as you won't go to a restaurant now just because they wouldn't serve you a drink on a Wednesday. What's your favorite margarita around town? Where do you like to go for a nice margarita?
Well, if you've been following the show at all, Lubie, you would know that I've had a tequila incident when I was 16, and I really don't drink much, if at all, in the way of tequila straight up. And the same goes for margaritas.
Margarita, okay.
I do, and I did have my one margarita that I could consume, which is the prickly pear margarita at Canyon. And I was there last Friday. And it was funny because I took the first sip and I get that tequila face of like, my body just says no. But after the first
that you can handle, without getting sick,
bourbon, scotch, whiskey, rye.
Okay.
red wine, vodka, and even gin. I'm getting back into the gin game. I
Oh,
like
wow.
some good classy gins out there.
Okay, so
And when I was
margaritas
at
are not for you.
All right, so margaritas. You're not a good guy.
National Margarita Day.
Yeah,
Where
is,
do you go for a margarita? There?
So what's interesting, we used to go to La Bamba's. They used to have a nice deal,
La Bamba's is
and I
all right,
know,
yeah.
and I know the Foundry makes a nice margarita, and I that actually might be my next drink here because I don't know if I've tried it here, but that's the one thing is it's finding a place that does it without all the mix. Like I don't mind a little bit of the mix, but when they go heavy on the mix, it's a lot. Deef, you're a lot more experienced when it comes to libations. Where do you like going for margaritas?
You know what? I don't know that I could really name a place that I recall and said, "Wow, this margarita sets itself apart from all other margaritas." You know, one of the 4 questions: why is this margarita different from all other margaritas? The place that you always hear mentioned about anything, and I know Mike Mayo is a fan of this place. When it comes to that sort of thing, is Casa Maya.
Oh yes,
there.
yes.
Yeah, in I guess it's Lighthouse.
Deerfield Beach, the
Deerfield
Beach, the Cove.
Deerfield, yeah.
At the Cove, yeah. And I've been meaning to go in there because I usually on
That
my
place is
Tuesday
great.
nights head into the tip there, and I was thinking about going there last night, but I got a detour as the Mustang came home and said, "Hey, do you want to go to a comedy show?" Now, I was thinking, okay, sure, yeah, I'll see some stand-up comedy. Where is it going on? She
Yeah,
said,
exactly.
Brews Room
Oh geez.
by Atlantic and Federal Highway, which I haven't been to in years.
Yeah.
Now, I remember, and Bob Rudzinski, when he opened up the original place in Margate with Eddie Howe, did a lot of radio remotes there. So I was there quite a bit.
Yeah.
And it was also right across the street from one of my other longtime sponsors, JM Lexus. So there was even more inclination to go in and hang out in there. And I thought they did a great job. But am I not mistaken, Mr. Mike Mayo, the purveyor of Let's Eat South Florida? Did they not have some unkind comments about the direction that Brews Room has gone in? Not Boat Campers, but Brews Room.
Brews Room, not to be confused with Boat Camper.
Was that not getting panned a little bit in recent days? And I'm not sure if Brudzinski, I think he may have sold out.
I don't
And
know how
Eddie Howe.
involved he is.
I'm not sure. Do you know who owns the place now? Because I'm pretty sure Eddie Howe cast in his chips.
I have no idea because I haven't been into a Brews Room since the very early days.
Oh, wow.
All right.
And
I
you are
liked it
correct.
back then. I thought it was
didn't mind
great.
their wings.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
it.
No, I had no issues with it back in the early days.
Good wings,
and,
ribs, onion rings, all
what
that.
was the place that was the big club down on Broward Boulevard and Federal Highway? Was that also a Brews?
Bajas?
No, it was
Broward.
before
What's on Broward? I don't know.
Broward,
Oh, no,
Broward
it was,
and Federal. It was also
Broward
like a
and
big
Federal.
club, and I thought it started off as a Brews, and then it became Baja. No, not Baja. That was
Old
Federal.
End and Federal was
It was
Bajas.
this guy Mike, who was a big restaurateur on the place.
Broward?
Mike Kaczynski's. Was it Kaczynski? I don't even know.
No,
what it was.
Kozlowski.
Kaz's.
Yeah,
That's
but
what it was.
he wasn't as well known and prominent as this other guy. And I know the place you're talking about,
I don't
and
know
I'm
that
blanking
place.
on it. And the guy had several restaurants, and he checked out a few years ago, as I recall.
Okay. Well, getting back to Brews Room,
Close
I don't
enough.
know who current ownership is, but you're correct in your memory of recently it took a pounding on the Let's Eat group. Now, I'm talking about
one
the,
location there.
that
in
was the
Margate?
original. I think the original Margate location was
Yeah.
the one taking a pounding. I can't speak to the one in Pompano, which you can because you were there last night. For the
I was
show.
there last night. I'll say this. I mean, it was interesting, for me to see a place attempting to have a promotion involving a free comedy show.
Yeah,
And I had seen a sign for one at another place, Spanks the Hog. And I thought, well, what kind of comedians are playing Spanks the Hog in Pompano Beach? It's not like you're getting a young Chris Rock or something, right? So as I witnessed at the Riviera when he was like the third man down on the bill. But it was interesting. I mean, they brought like about 12 guys up.
Okay.
None of them, I mean, I don't think you'll be seeing any of these guys,
Open mic
most-
night.
Saturday
You got to
Night
start
Live.
somewhere. Yeah.
but good kids. I mean, like all mostly, young guys, 25 and under. And they were trying hard. The audience was extremely receptive. And of course, we ordered some food and drinks. I would say, how do you feel like if you order chicken wings and they're not like, sort of sizable?
Oh, when they're tiny.
If they're like the really small ones, do you feel
Drumette?
better about that or worse? I mean, are you thinking these are healthy wings?
Oh yeah, they're not
Because they're not
hormone.
infused with like,
steroids.
hormones and barnacles or whatever they put in these things and make them bigger. I mean, what's your feeling about that?
That's the positive way of looking at it. But I would say if you're eating a fried chicken wing to begin with,
Yeah.
Like,
health is probably not your paramount concern. and usually the heft of the wing is.
Yep.
All right, so you would much rather have a giant wing.
Yeah, chintz.
And this, let me put in a kind word about Pat Utter. He
I
uses
was
the
gonna say,
antibiotic
Utter's
free.
they're great, yeah.
wings.
He gets big ones. I mean, he pays premium for them, and some people balk at the prices of chicken wings, and I
Ours
know
come
that they've
down a
come
little.
down.
These were $14.50 for 10.
Ooh, okay,
10?
yeah. So
That's
Yeah,
not
it's
bad. It's
about
not
right.
terrible
It's
these days.
about-
Yeah,
yeah, it's
that's
about-
the going rate, but you want a good, plump, big, juicy chicken wing at that rate, not the little
I'll say they were
shriveled up.
tasty.
Yeah.
They weren't so small that you couldn't enjoy them. It was a
Okay.
little deceptive because I'm looking and going, man, these are tiny. What sparrow did they pick these wings off? And then when I got into them, they had a lot of flavor to them. So I would say, and they were juicy and very fresh. So I'll give them. Mustang gave him an 8, and she's kind of a harsh critic of these sort of things.
That's
Out
high.
of 10?
Yeah,
That's
the only
out of
place
10.
I ever do that is
But
Land Lovers
she
and
had smoked a
shenanigans.
significant amount of medical marijuana
She might
with her
have-
friend outside when she was talking to the
Not a
comedian.
fair score. That's like tipping the
Would you say
scale.
that impaired her ability to give a unbiased review?
No, look, I can't get in the way of anybody's. It's subjective, and if they were
Yeah.
in that mood and they hit it, they hit that the wings hit them right, along with other things hitting them right.
Yeah.
Why not give them an 8? So I'm glad she enjoyed them. I've got a chicken.
They had nachos also, which were unspectacular, I would say.
Yeah. Now I've got a chicken wing story because it involved last Saturday when I did my lunch bang bang with Dick Steen up in Boca. It was actually a Boca bang bang, and a bang bang, for those who don't know, is a Louis C.K. phrase that he, I guess, spotlighted on his old comedy show, but where you have one full meal and then immediately go to another full meal. And we did that on Saturday, me and Dick Steen. We did the bang bang. The first part was and this was when I was coming down with the bronchitis, but started off at this place called Taco Wa on it's now on Palmetto Park Road. It moved a couple of years ago. It's a great story, actually, but it's a Korean, it's got a much bigger menu now. It has Korean food. It also has like Korean style street tacos where they fill tacos with like the bulgogi meat and stuff like that.
Nice.
But he also has these Korean fried chicken wings, and they were fantastic. And these were big and plump and fried.
That's what I want.
Choice of 2 sauces is like the sweet hot chili sauce on it, where they kind of drizzle that on top, or they do a wings where they infuse it with like the garlic. It wasn't a honey garlic, but it was like some sort of savory garlic, but it was like infused within the actual like fry.
Oh my God.
And it was fantastic.
Where is this place
where is
located
this?
again?
Palmetto Park Road, just east of US 1. So it's right near where the
East of
Casa
US 1.
D'Angelo and Louis Bossi's and that Rebel House. That's all along that strip there, just south of where Meisner Park is. It's called Taco Wa. It's a fantastic story because the guy who owns and operates it. Okay, imagine if you went to the south of France, like the Riviera, and you saw Bob Costas operating a hot dog stand.
It'd be more likely me as among Syracuse grads. Oh,
There's
wow.
Brad.
Yeah, man.
All right. Well, this dude who opened it, he was a
great.
huge he was a huge baseball broadcaster in South Korea, and then he ended up opening this restaurant. I'll tell the full story later. We got Brad here. We got food here. It's time to bring on Brad. It's time to talk food.
Wow, that's
let's welcome back to the Lunchbox the chef owner extraordinaire of Even Keel. Proud to call him a friend. Proud to see him there. I'm so sorry. It's you got a Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Hold the Mayo.
We're not
I'm
sorry
home.
you're not here, Michael.
But,
More food for
what's
us.
going on, Brad?
Yeah, wow, look at that.
How are you?
I'm good, Mike. Better than you, man.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Yeah, we got to start feeding you some vitamin D, or you got to get out in the sun, or I don't know.
I got my chicken soup. I got my Jewish penicillin right here.
I think the stem cell stuff might work with him. He needs a whole new immune system. Yeah.
Maybe we'll get.
When they just cured a guy with HIV, they might be able to help Mayo. Yeah.
You probably have that next, Mike. Oh, okay.
Nope.
He's eating
We're
his
good.
soup.
We're good.
All right, so explain what we have in front of us.
Okay,
Dwell
yeah.
on
So
Brad
a couple
here
of our
at-
This is a newbie, huh?
couple of our fan favorites. Well,
It's
I
not
wanted
new
to
for
talk
them,
about
it's
the
new for
grilled
us.
cheese. Grilled cheese is one of our staples, actually,
Wow.
Defo. But the fun part about that is that we changed the marmalade. So I was talking to Lubie earlier. We're in that transition period coming from winter into spring. So we're going to start doing some menu changes soon. So the cool part about the grilled cheese is it's a staple. It doesn't go anywhere. It's something that our customers have loved ever since we opened EK1. But the fun part is we get to change the marmalade throughout the year.
Oh, cool.
So we're running an apple butter right now that we kind of ran through the winter. which
Nice.
is very seasonal. But we got mangoes coming up soon. I know if you have a mango tree anywhere around your neighborhood, you start seeing the flowers blossoming. So we're about a month away from getting mangoes. So we're gonna start changing the menu up, and that's gonna be one of the items. We're probably gonna put a mango marmalade on the grilled cheese. So to give you a chance to try that, it's the last opportunity at the apple butter, which is really great. Our bang bang shrimp, which is again another one of our staples. Yeah, you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah.
Nice crispy shrimp with that sweet and spicy mayo.
But you guys do
homemade
it
mayo.
different than some other places, and we're much
So
bigger
good,
fans.
I noticed you didn't bother Lubie with the chopsticks after seeing his session out here. Yeah.
No, he's using his hands
He
today.
tried to eat him with one chopstick, which didn't work out. Yeah.
Just stab it.
And Mike doesn't care, He just grabs him
right,
with his
right,
hands.
right. And then another one of our staples is our grilled oysters, which,
Well, it's
which
Mardi Gras
people
time. We
absolutely
gotta have
love.
some
Right,
oysters.
right. And these are from Louisiana too, so
Oh, nice.
that
They
makes
look
sense. Yeah. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's been crazy busy. The business is picking up, so we're having a lot of fun. But yeah, we're excited about changing the menu up in the next few weeks. So maybe the next time you guys are on, we'll have a chance to try some
Nice. I
new
love that.
stuff. Yeah.
I was singing the old zombie song, thinking about you this morning. It's the time of the season. So the
that's
season's in full swing
That's
now, right?
it. It is. It is. Yeah.
This is your time to shine.
It is. It is. We got about. It's really from now until Mother's Day. Is in reality for anybody that's in the business is kind of how it works. And when it comes, it comes. I mean, there's no
and you guys,
there's no warning. Yeah.
I was saying, as soon as now is when the spring breakers start coming in, and it's just
Yeah.
6-7 weeks of, and
Right.
they were hitting your place hard last year, right?
It's great. It's such a different. It's a different. I mean, we got to up the beer. We got to up the beer stuff. They're not ordering. Old fashions and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But and then we got to make sure we have plenty of bang bang shrimp and all. Nobody's ordering lobster rolls. When those guys come.
Yeah.
So it changes a little bit, but it's still business is
good,
business. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice, very good. You were talking about all the crab and the oysters. Well, now it's today is officially Ash Wednesday. It means Lent has begun, and yesterday was Fat Tuesday. But it's good news for a seafood restaurant because for the practicing Catholics that are not going to be eating meat on Fridays, even Keel is the perfect place to go for all the seafood and fish.
And there's fish running like crazy right now. We just got a 20-pound core off a 100-pound marker.
Wow.
Swordfish that just came in.
Oh my God!
5 minutes before you guys broadcast. 5 minutes before you guys went live.
I'll be there at 5 o'clock. I'll wear a mask. Okay.
You better bubble wrap yourself or something. But yeah, we fish are running too right now. So perfect timing for that. We've got. I think the Lord timed it perfect for us, right? With what's going on, but yeah, we've got great fish. We got the swordfish, the tuna, the snapper. We've got a golden tile, which is a really great fish. We can
that's
run
a
for
delicacy.
Yeah.
Everybody loves that.
Yeah, everybody loves that, and we take the scraps. That makes incredible fish and chips, actually, too.
Oh, nice.
Really flaky. So we've got options. We've got options, but everything's we try and source as locally as we possibly can, and obviously keep it as fresh as possible, which is easy.
Hey, last time I was in there, you had two of my favorite things on the special board. Well, one thing I hadn't seen in a million years that you prepared for me that I absolutely loved. Is that still on the menu? That tuna, the tempura?
Yeah.
About that. That
What
was
did you call? What did you call? You said it was like a retro, like a rollback, which it kind of is. I mean, I think tuna. I think people deep frying tuna has been around since people started eating tuna. It
reminded me of Roy's. I don't know if you remember Roy's restaurant. It started in Hawaii, and it's on I still have one in Naples, I think, on the west coast of Florida.
So it's just a cool way. It's a cool, different way of presenting. I mean, everybody's had tuna a billion times in a billion different ways, but we actually take a little chunk. We roll it in nori paper, which is what they used to make sushi out of.
Nice.
Seaweed, dried seaweed.
Yeah.
And then bread it and then batter it in our beer batter and fry it. So and then we pull it out and I slice it really thin. So you get the crispy on the outside, you get that little bit of nori, then it looks like a sear because it's cooked, and then it's still rare in the center.
Flash fried. It was like practically like sushi rare in the middle.
Seconds, about 30 seconds.
Beautiful.
And then do a nice rice cake next to it, some pickled cucumber and then
it was fantastic. If you're still running it, I urge anybody to go in there and try it.
I get hungry around this.
I put it on. I actually put it on. We ran it as a special, and then it took off. So we put it on the menu.
I can see why it's
nice.
Yeah.
And the other thing is,
grilled cheese.
What do you think of the crab thing?
This grilled cheese is amazing, and I can see what you're talking about with on top with the
apple butter.
With the apple butter, it has a nice taste.
Yeah.
but I could see changing that out.
Yeah,
and
evolution.
adds-
So I
Hey,
think last-
Lubie, you could shrink me to a postage stamp. I want people to be able to see all that great food. Okay, I don't mind. I'm yeah, blow up you and blow me down. There you go. Perfect. So now people can see.
Well, that's
Wow,
better.
Marcus
Yeah.
Wave in the
No
corner.
mayo.
No, Mayo.
Mini Mayo. Help! I'm shrinking. I'm shrinking.
We put them in his little corner box, but those bangers are the best I've had anywhere.
Yeah, they're
I
super,
can say that.
super good.
I mean, not because you're sitting here.
Yeah, and it's home. It's because, and I think it has to do with like the love that we
Yeah.
care. And we put in everything we got. We make our own mayonnaise. We take a little bit of sambal, which is like a Korean chili paste. I use key lime juice in it. It's got a little bit of soy, a little bit of sesame, and then a little bit of salt. That's all that's in it. But it's the time. We go through. We could go through a gallon of homemade mayonnaise in a day. It takes a hot minute to
Oh,
make that
wow.
much stuff.
Wow.
When we're doing the numbers that
And
we're
a
doing.
very generous portion. And
Yeah,
then on top
yeah,
of that,
yeah.
I mean, what? Do you still do the happy hour half price?
Yeah. We do 4 to
That's
7.
insane.
4 to 7 Monday through Friday is happy hour. Always running different specials. We got a lot of actually some raw bar stuff on there too. We always do a $2 oyster for happy hour every single day. And all of our oysters are from the Northeast. We don't really do except for our roasted oyster. So they're cold water oysters, really, really delicious. But yeah, the grilled cheese is fun. I think last year we did. I'll change the marmalade 5 or 6 times throughout the year.
So that's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, like we'll do mangoes, and then once mango goes, I think I did strawberry in the summer last year. Did like a
Apple
strawberry
butter sounds pretty good to me, Brad. You
Apple
could
butter
just
is really
smother-
great. Yeah.
Smother
It's
me in apple butter and just send
Yeah,
me
yeah,
a
yeah.
recipe.
Grab a
That's
bite of
good.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
got to try one of these. It's
I'll
Um,
give you my honor.
we do the
review.
apple-
what
we do-
cheese is it? Because I
Brie.
like how the
Brie.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
right.
it just melts like crazy.
Yeah,
So
crab
brie,
and brie is a classic combo.
brie,
That
and then we put a little bit of truffle on it. Put a little truffle to kind of enhance, just to give that more like little floral, mushroomy floral flavor. But
Full of mayo.
Defo looks like me eating today. There, I gotta
Oh,
say,
yeah.
Ruby, he's licking his fingers. He's like
for you.
slobbering
Yeah.
all over the place.
I had to
But
take
that's
over
okay.
your role here as being
Yes.
the
Yes,
slob
Rob.
on the show.
There you go.
But
All right, I'm
but
gonna cut into this with a
things
fork.
been really, really good. We're looking forward to again playing around with my staff about some new recipes and some stuff. And
Hey, we missed you last time. It was unfortunate because we had Nikki Mohan from Visit Lauderdale with us,
Yeah.
and she got to sample the award-winning pumpkin lobster biscuit. What do you call that again? It's the curry coconut.
The curry coconut. It's curry coconut soup, butternut squash, curry coconut. It's like 7 names in the.
Is it on the menu still? You still
Yeah, I
got
still
it?
have it. Well, I think
Okay.
we're gonna end up changing that probably pretty soon too. It's kind of as it starts to warm up.
It was a winter season,
Yeah.
but it
it's-
killed at the Visit Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival because it was a 55-degree day. It warmed up to about like 60,
That's perfect.
62.
right.
But
Right.
everybody loved it, including yours truly. And but it won the People's Choice Award.
We did. We walked away with. I'd like to think that it wasn't just because it was hot, something hot when it was cold out. I'd
No,
like
no,
to think
no.
that it
That thing
tasted
was
really good
spectacular.
too. But it's
that
it's-
helped, but it was delicious.
Yeah, everything. All the stars aligned for that.
That's insane.
Isn't
It's
it great?
insanely good.
Mayo, this is insane.
Yeah.
This grilled cheese grab thing.
Yeah.
I've had it before, Defo. I've had everything on that menu.
Well,
Yeah,
we
totally.
had-
Well,
You
yeah,
don't get
this
to
is
be
my
my-
first time with this thing. It's amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's really
It's
good.
good
It's a
stuff.
perfect
I mean, a taste
combination.
sensation.
And then
Yeah.
the sweetness from the marmalade
Right,
adds
right.
a little different
Phenomenal.
flavor. to it.
Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
So everybody in our audience who hasn't been out there yet,
Absolutely
they'll
great.
take
You need to
good
get out
care
there.
of you. They have the good cocktail program going. They've got full bar. They've got all those frozen drinks. They've got all the specials. The Monday, you're still running the all-you-can-eat mussels.
So we got all you can eat mussels on Monday.
Wow.
We've got $2 oysters every night. So I have 3 varieties of oysters
on Tuesday night, the $2
Tuesdays.
oyster night, right?
$2
I was in
oyster
there for that
Tuesdays. Yeah.
with
And
a
that
Narragansett, the big old
There you
can
go.
of Narragansett for $2. That was good.
That was
Uh,
that's a lot of fun. People crushed that. We got crushed last night for that. And then Saturday and Sunday we still got the brunch with the bottomless
Oh, I
mimosas
came
and
for my
and
wife's
Bloody Mary.
birthday. We came with
Oh,
my
yeah.
in-laws.
Oh, you guys came? Nice.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's
They
cool.
didn't see you or Dave, so they just
Nowhere
they
near.
just they
Yeah.
Unlike Mike, he didn't call you in advance and say, "By the way, I might be
He
there.
just shows up
Can
with
you comp me?"
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I mean,
No, we do brunch is fun. We still do the full menu on brunch, our full regular menu, and then I had like 5 or 6 brunch items.
Yep.
So lobster Benedict,
The shrimp and grits
banana
were
pancakes,
amazing.
wow.
shrimp and grits.
And the pancakes were the best I've ever had.
Yeah,
How
banana
long did you experiment with this before you came up with? The
I
final?
started making this in my restaurant down in Grand Cayman.
Wow.
We actually we're doing some kind of event, and I needed like a quick appetizer, and I had some fresh bread, and I had brie and truffle, and I just made toast, and then I ended up putting mango marmalade on top. So that was maybe 10 years ago,
Wow.
and then when we opened Even Keel, it was like, how do we advanced this even farther,
Great.
and we put the crab meat on it.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's kind of where that went. So
Are you
it's-
doing the clams carbonara still with the
Yeah,
pastas? That's
yeah,
still on the menu. That's
with the
must be
Ben's
a
bacon,
popular
man.
one. Yeah.
Oh, we're
that's-
selling like crazy. Yeah,
Yeah. It's a
Ben's
great
makes
dish.
really great.
Also.
And
All
then
right,
soup-
now you guys are making me hungry, even though I just downed a
Sorry,
quart
Mayo.
of
Sorry
matzo
you
ball
missed this
soup.
one.
hey man, it was your idea, man.
It
Sorry.
sure is a lot easier to get our share of it, when you're
Yes,
not
this
here.
is amazing. No mayo. This is
There's no
clean.
giant hand.
Yeah, I know. Lubie doesn't have to go whisking away the plates right when they arrive,
right,
so I don't grab it, but it's all good.
Separating everything.
Well, it's good to see you at least.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you
This is
so much
amazing.
for the support, guys. I love it, and I love seeing you guys. And like I said,
Great
next
job.
time,
This is amazing.
next time you guys come back, we'll talk about. We'll have some new items for you guys to try.
Don't get rid of the soup
Beautiful.
so quick because
All right, I won't
we
be-
didn't get really to try it.
I know,
last
man.
time. Mickey Mohan loved
Mike's
it.
known me he's known me since I was this big in the kitchen, and we get bored of like
Oh, but I
it's just
love
in our
that. I
body.
love
We get bored of making the same. That's why
They like to play with their food.
we like to play with our food in
But
a good
it's-
way.
Yeah, it's
But
appreciated.
no, the soup will be on for definitely a little bit
Okay.
longer.
Oh,
We've already got customers that keep coming back for that already. So
Well, as soon as I'm feeling better, I'll make it down there and try some of the good new dishes,
Yeah.
and I'll just start chugging the apple butter by the gallon.
That's it,
You don't
man.
even have to put it on any kind
Absolutely
So
delicious,
that's-
Mike.
yeah,
Man.
yeah.
Unbelievably so.
feel better, Mike. Miss you, man.
of. Thanks, I
All right, buddy.
appreciate it.
All right,
Thank you,
Brad.
guys.
Brad,
Ladies and
we
gentlemen,
appreciate it. Thank you,
Keel
Brad.
Fish Shack.
Good job.
All
All right, and we'll put in a good word for our friend Nikki Mohan. Visit Lauderdale because we're going to be getting together with her next Tuesday to conclude
sir.
February and Black History Month. We're going to be going out to Willie T's Seafood Shack, a new restaurant that's from Warren Thompson, who's a very successful restaurateur who now lives here locally in Fort Lauderdale. And that's the kind of thing that we love to spotlight is the diversity you can find here in Lauderdale, and plenty of diversity there, right there in Lauderdale by the sea between Brad and Dave doing all their great stuff. And like Defo was saying, all the different varieties. You got the dueling pianos at Mickey's Piano Bar. You've got all the Italian
Nice.
restaurants.
That
You've
place
got
is drawing a good crowd. I mean, I'm curious to go in there and see what the attraction is besides the music. It has to also be the food.
oh
you know,
yeah, there's
And it bombed as the previous place, the Beef and Reef, which was owned by a Canadian guy. But we went there quite frequently because they had a good happy hour. It looked like they were trying. They had some seriously good food.
that's the
But,
thing. There's
It didn't catch on.
places come and go. Some places have become a hit. Some
Did you eat at
places miss.
Pa Di Gennaro's when it was Pa Di Gennaro's?
I did not eat at Pau de Janeiro.
That was like a staple. I mean, that was one of those classic
There's a
joints.
whole host of different restaurants and
here in-
all the different Italian places you were mentioning up and down that strip. It's crazy. Besides
Oh,
Cafe
great, yeah.
Murano, and there's the Patrizio's now, and then there's
Cafe
the
Vico, it looks, Vico.
Scola Pasta, the new the coastal outpost of Cafe Vico that just opened up.
What about
There's,
that Etna
that
Rosso? Or
Etna Rosso is a
Yeah, yeah.
Sicilian restaurant that I haven't been to yet, but it's gotten a lot of good
supposed
buzz.
to be good, yeah.
And I said Scola Pasta, and what else is up there? It's just a ton of stuff, and that
Yeah,
just goes to show you the
amazing.
variety that we have here in Greater Fort Lauderdale. Visit Lauderdale wants everybody under the sun to come experience all the flavors and different tastes under the sun. And that means, the culinary explorers and cocktail connoisseurs, craft beer aficionados. Tell you what, even Keel is a great place for all three of them because you
Yeah,
can get the
yeah,
cocktails, the craft beer, and the great food there at Even Keel Fish Shack. So that's why you should come to stay and play in Greater Fort Lauderdale, discover taste sensations at more than 4,000 area restaurants. From dockside and waterfront dining and all this coastal dining up and down A1A with the breathtaking views and lively scenes. And then there's, of course, the Las Olas Boulevard, and that's our old reliables up and down our boulevard in the Venice of America, all the canals that cut through
Honestly.
Las Olas. You could go to Casa Sensai. They actually have some gondola rides down there. And then, of course, there's the award-winning chefs like my friend Timon Baloo at the Catherine. We love all the variety in Greater Fort Lauderdale, and Visit Lauderdale says, come on down, check it all out. Don't forget the nightlife scene and all the things like the Visit Lauderdale Ale Trail, the hidden speakeasies, the rooftop bars, etc. It's a never-ending culinary. Yeah, it's cool and it's culinary. So it's also a libation celebration. You want to check it out, all the latest events, promotions, and deals, go to visitlauderdale.com.
now featuring Chinese food on A1A. All right, we'll come back and wrap up this edition of Lunchbox. It's a lot easier to consume things.
We're not rushing.
I mean, this should be the
We
new
don't have to
dynamic
fight
of the
for
show.
it.
I really believe
Stay
that.
there.
We go to the places where they're putting the beautiful food out, and you stay home. Now we're going to be Delaware Chicken Farm tomorrow. That's
Now
going
we
to be
need
great.
Mayo out there.
Seafood
It's gonna be
market.
fun. Doug Carter, he's a he's
like
he's
really
one of
good
the great people in the South
He's a
Florida
real
food
sports
scene.
fan. I mean, he supports a lot of sports endeavors on the radio and things like that.
Yes,
TV.
yes, he does.
All right, we're
He
coming
does.
back in a moment. Wrap things up on the Lunchbox.
Looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more? Go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, for tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6. The early bird special runs from 4:30 to 5:30, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Hey, it's Mike Mayo. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a good bagel with Nova or some matzo ball soup, homemade knishes, or a great deli pastrami sandwich on rye, you know where I go? Grandpa's Cafe in Dania Beach. It's been around a long time, an institution, but a little over a year ago, a pair of New Yorkers came in, bought it, and refurbished the place. It's beautiful, and they are now serving great breakfast, brunch, lunch. They've got the omelets, they've got eggs Benedict, they've got all kinds of great baked goods like rugelach. Grandpa's is just off Federal Highway on Southwest 1st Street in Dania Beach. It's open 7 days. Go in there, tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks, just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally, and they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks, they're open every day but Tuesday. Go in there on a Wednesday. They got buy one, get one on cheesesteaks from 5 to 8 p.m. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Back on the Lunchbox, those guys are feasting at even Keel. I'm making do with my leftovers and scraps. What I got here, gentlemen, I even though I was ailing yesterday after I picked up all my medications, I made a stop at the pizza spot last night,
Nice.
and
I recognize.
I got my this is a New Haven specialty pizza. They call it just the plain pie. It's just basically tomato sauce with a light sprinkling of that pecorino, the Parmesan grated
What are your
cheese.
thoughts on that pizza? Because I know we had it at the place over here by me, not over here, but by me in Plantation. It was interesting, but I did miss the mozzarella. I'm not gonna lie. Like, what are your thoughts on that? I know it's their delicacy.
My thoughts are this: if people are like lactose intolerant, or trying to go low fat, or if you have, let's say, bronchitis and a cold where you don't want to produce a lot of mucus in your system, because obviously milk products, dairy products sometimes promote that. So by getting the cheeseless slice, it fulfilled all my needs. It gave me warm comfort, and it also gave me a chance to see Wade and Reese. And I want to just tell our audience they're going on their quarterly break next week. So if you have a hankering for really good New Haven style pizza, you want to get in there this weekend on before Monday, because Sunday will be their last day of service for about 9 days. They go away for a little bit and have themselves a nice relaxing time, because man does not live by bread and pizza alone. So so you want to get in there this weekend, and then they'll be closed from Monday through the following Tuesday. I think they reopen on, I believe it's March 7th or 8th, but you look at a calendar and you'll figure it out. So the pizza spot, we love them. Love Ray and Reese. Anyway, what do you guys got? Anything else?
I'm not gonna lie. Well, it's funny because a lot of the time
is so
when you
good,
have crab or lobster and people try to do stuff to it, I think it's like, why would you mess with it? But you leave it to Brad to enhance it. He actually didn't mess with it. He does it with brie, obviously, because he's Brad, and then it's like the Texas toast, and it's perfect. It's really good. And
These guys
marmalade-
are well-trained chefs that have been all over the world, that have opened some, the really elegant fine dining restaurants, but they wanted to do something that was just fun and approachable, but they always bring their
nice.
little chefy elements to it. I never got to tell the full story, but the guy who was a South Korean baseball broadcaster who was really big in
Oh, that's
Korea,
funny.
and then he basically worked for like the ESPN of South Korea.
Oh,
He
I
was their-
heard of this. Was it from you? Who did
yeah,
heard of
I
this.
wrote about it at the Sun
Okay, I
Sentinel, and
heard about this like a couple years ago. It's like the
but
craziest thing. Like,
he opened the place. So what happened was he basically got assigned to cover all the Korean baseball stars in the major leagues. He also would go back during Korean baseball season and anchor their Baseball Tonight anchor desk. But he basically started living here in the United States. He settled in Parkland. He had 2 sons, and basically his family, his sons, was in one of the classrooms that got caught up in the horrific shooting. And he basically couldn't leave his family after that. His sons are okay, but it was kind of a rough time. But he ended up ditching his job. He quit his job, and he wanted to stay here in the States to help his family and support his sons through the whole emotional time. And Parkland was a very obviously emotional time. And then about 9 months later, him and his wife opened a Korean taco stand restaurant. And basically, here's this guy who is like the Bob Costas of South Korea in terms of baseball broadcasting, who sacrificed it all just to kind of make sure his family is okay. And he's opened up a really good,
like a hit. Yeah.
it's a really good restaurant. And he moved to bigger space a couple of years ago. It started off as a little small walk-in place off Spanish River Boulevard, but now he got a nicer location, and it's full service, and it's right on that nice stretch of Palmetto Park Road. And I would recommend highly for people to go into Taco Wa, because you could get a really good Korean meal, or kind of mix and match and do some kind of offbeat things. Like they have street food like the disco fries, or they call it kimchi fries, and all the taco creations. But me and Dickstein, we went to town. We ordered the whole menu. We had the wings, we had the bulgogi in the clay pot, we had the noodle dish. We just kept eating and eating, and then we went to Meat Tap Room and Eatery. Saw my friend George Patty and had some Juicy Lucy burgers and fries and onion rings.
Minnesota.
After that.
Yes.
As dessert, a burger, a giant whopping.
Remember the Minnesota one? That's what it is. It's the one with the cheese inside of it.
Oh my God!
Pimento cheese and bacon stuffed inside a
Inside
burger.
the
So
burger.
Mayo,
I had that after the
boosting
full.
your immune system with all
Yeah,
this food.
that's why you
Yeah.
can't be healthy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I gotta.
He's not
gotta.
gonna drink,
I'm sorry. Whatever you say, it can't be good for you.
so he won't drink alcohol. Just
Combine that with no alcohol and no
Annihilate.
exercise, though. That's even more important.
But
This
plenty
is
of
a guy who
drugs.
ran half marathon.
I
Half
don't
marathon.
know. There's nothing like Mayo.
Hard to conceive of. Yeah.
How did it all go wrong? I just
I
don't.
don't
You,
know.
you can't let go yet, kid. You're
I
too
mean,
young. Yeah. Don't let completely
I
go.
don't even know what to do
Oh.
with any of that. Oh my
All
God.
right, we had
Great
some
time
fun
out
today.
here, Brad, a home
You
run.
did miss out in person.
You
Brad
missed
did
out,
a great
yeah.
job. It's
There's
amazing.
actually a grilled oyster left over with your name on it. But
Yeah,
I'm
that
gonna
was meant
have
for
it.
you,
Yeah,
but
Brad,
we're gonna leave that
so-
for Defo.
And I had
It's
a
okay,
really
guys.
good job by Brad. I mean, tremendous.
I'll get in there again soon as I'm feeling better, and we'll do it again there next month as we do. We love seeing our friends at Even Keel. And tomorrow we're going to meet up with some new friends at Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market there, State Road 7. I think it's 4191 State Road 7, just south of Sterling Road. Come on out if you're in the area tomorrow between 12 and 1. We'll be broadcasting. We'll be showing the proper way to eat a stone crab claw. The bigger, the better. Deliver the letter. And that's it. And then on Friday, back at Gulfstream again, which is Defo's happy space. And,
I enjoy that immensely. I have to say.
I will be not drinking.
I mean, you have to have your Bloody Mary, otherwise the show
I will
Please.
not have my Bloody Mary. I am on
Well,
at
do
least
it
for the
first and do
6
a virgin
days.
Bloody Mary, then lie to
The
yourself.
6 days of my antibiotics and steroids, I'm going to be laying off the
I think
sauce.
a Bloody Mary laying on top of all of that would be perfect. It's entertainment, my friend. We want to have a good show. We don't want to have,
You
some-
profess the concern over my overall health, but at
Yeah,
the
I'm
same
screwing with
time,
you.
you want me to
I
start pouring
encourage you to go
alcohol.
wild. Yeah.
It's
I
fun.
want you off of these medications and onto better medications like vodka, beer, wine,
Contradictory. Very.
various
All right.
medical marijuana offerings.
Feel better,
Yeah.
Mr. Mayo, and we're all excited for Delaware tomorrow.
We'll see everybody
later.
tomorrow. Until then,
All right.
enjoy every grilled oyster, pizza slice, and enjoy every sandwich.